Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got this really cute little bunny box for you. It is a little like bakery style box. So tabs all tuck in to the base of the box, and the box holds two of these little bunny double crisp. Let me show you my treats. We're using the Friends of the Forest, the little bunny from here. Isn't it just so cute? And the bunnies I found are these double crisp bunnies. I got them at the $1.25 store. And you get 3 in a package. 2 of them fit in this little box. So I've got an open package here. Let me grab my bunnies and we will get started with this adorable little project. All right, our little treat box is going to start with a piece of just jade cardstock. It's 6 by 6. This is also a cute little treat box. Maybe not with something quite as heavy as this inside. These chocolates are pretty heavy, but you can do this treat box with your 6 by 6 designer series paper. So it's a really handy little box when you want to whip up a cute little treat for somebody. Just grab a piece of 6 by 6 cardstock or designer series paper, pop it in your Simply Scored tool. Let me show you the template here. We're going to score on one side at 1, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5 1/2. Then we're going to rotate and we'll score at 1 and both of those alternating 5-inch sides, or 6-inch sides, excuse me. So you could do 1 and 5, but if this isn't exactly 6 by 6, say you cut your cardstock 6 and 1/16 or 5 and 15/16, one side of your box is going to end up having whatever that sloppy measurement is. Where if you go 1 inch from the rail and 1 inch from the rail, if there's any shortage or any over, it ends up in the middle of the box instead of on one of your sides, giving you a lopsided box. So I get asked that question quite often. Why do I rotate all the way to the other side and measure from the rail instead of just doing the math? And the reason is because your box could end up a little lopsided. So we need a bone folder and some paper snips. Let's work the score lines and trim according to the template. The photograph of the template will be on the project sheet on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com. The link to the post is below the video, just where it says project details. Click here, click there. It'll take you to the blog, to the actual post for our little bunny box. And below the embedded video, you'll see a clickable link that says click here for the printable project sheet. Just click that link. It'll open up a PDF for you to either save or print. Now we're going to start with these rectangles, these little ones in the corners, and we're got kind of a bakery style box. So we need a nice big angle here so that it will tuck when we close, because this tab, and this tab all need to tuck into the base of our box. So cut off at a straight and then cut off at a nice deep angle. Now you're going to do a nice deep angle here too. And then a very small little bevel, get rid of that score line. And then for these two, you'll just take a very small little dart, just kind of an angle cut that meets at a point at the intersecting score line. And we'll do the same on the other side. Grab a corner rounder. I'm going to round these little tabs, the tuck tab corners. You'll have to fold in the tab to get that in your corner rounder. Now we want to mark center on this panel so we can add a little thumb notch. It'll make it easier to get this box open and closed. Your Simply Score tool has a centering ruler on it. 0 is center. So what you'll do is from either side of 0, using the top measurements, you want to make these equal. So we've got 2 inches on the right of the 0 and 2 inches on the left of the 0 for these little score lines. And then if you just press at the 6-inch line, which is also 0 on your centering ruler, then you've marked center. And we can punch a little hole. I've got my 1/2-inch circle punch. It's a retired Stampin' Up punch. We're just going to punch half of the circle with that little mark centered. And there's our box. Now, before we assemble or add any adhesive, if you look closely at my box, it's my little Friends of the Forest bunny box. I've done a really cool wood texture. And the nice part about this 6x6 box template is you can do it with designer series paper. But if you want to, you could also add a little texture using the 6-inch folders. All right, so before I pop it in the folder, I'm going to just give a little extra trim on my tuck tabs, so these ones that are kind of trapezoid shape. Then we're going to pop this in to the folder, and you'll see that it's going to emboss nearly entirely the whole thing because we got the 6x6 folder and the 6x6 cardstock. So we'll just line that up in there, close it up, and let's run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This folder that I'm using is a 3D folder, so I've got number 1 in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we'll put number 4 over top. And now we've got an amazing timber texture box for our Friends of the Forest. Let's turn this so that we've got the outside of the box, the thumb notch up top, and we're going to add some tear and tape adhesive. We'll do the first tab and the third tab with little equal signs. Now, if you are a kitchen table stamper email subscriber, in your email is going to be a larger version of this box. Really beautiful, elegant treat box using a similar style, but a larger size. And you're gonna love it. I'll show you, if you hang out till the end of the video, the exclusive box project for email subscribers. If you're not an email subscriber, head over to kitchentablestamper.com/email and get on our email list. There are exclusive projects that are not seen on any social media. They only go out to email subscribers. We send one project every week, so you're missing a lot of content if you're not on our email list. All right, so we're going to peel away all the release papers, and then we're going to fold the sides in to make the base of the box. Let me show you something here when we fold the sides in. So we fold the sides in, got the center tab, tuck these adhesive tabs behind. But what I want you to see is we did our adhesive in the direction that we did our adhesive, so that when we close this up, we've got adhesive running horizontal across the top of the box. So when this tab goes in, it's virtually impossible to get between those layers of the box. If you put your adhesive the other way on the tabs, you'd have an open gap here where your box could get caught. The little inside flap could get caught when you close. So just a little method to the madness. Even the direction that I apply the adhesive is sometimes very important. All right, so there's our little box, all set to go. Let's pop our bunnies in. Aren't they adorable? Get those guys in there and tuck them in. Good night, bunnies. We'll see you later. There's our sample. Let's get some ink pads and do some stamping. All right, this is such a pretty color combination. We have Night of Navy, Polished Pink, and Bumblebee. Check those colors out together. I think you'll enjoy that color combination. Over here, I've got my Memento Tuxedo Black and my little bunny from my Friends of the Forest. Stamp the bunny on a scrap and set aside, give it a second to dry. And then I've got a scrap of So Saffron cardstock and my favorite swoopy square. This is the Label Me Lovely punch. I think. I call it the swoopy square so often. I've forgotten. Got a scrap of polished pink here, and then I have a rectangle. This is the stitched rectangles, cut from basic white, and it's one of the very smallest. I call that K. When I do my die sheets, I label A through whatever in the alphabet. So this one goes all the way to M, largest to smallest. And then I put a measurement, and this helps me with project sheets, with designing, and with communicating to you which one did I cut. Because from this picture, it might be kind of hard to tell which stitch rectangle I use. So that's why I do these sheets, so that I can write project sheets easily and so that you can follow along without too much guesswork as to which one it is. So this is the one that I call K. It's 2 3/8 by 1 1/16. And we're gonna stamp our Easter greeting on that one. Now I've picked up stamps and punches from this set and that for this project. It really is a kind of a mix and match. My greeting for this came from the Daffodil Daydream stamp set. I'm going to ink that with Night of Navy, and we're going to stamp it a little bit right of center and then top to bottom on this label centered. And there's our Easter blessings. Then I've got a little tiny flower. I love this cutie. This is from the Sweet Strawberry bundle. If you haven't picked up the Sweet Strawberry and the Strawberry Builder yet, you'll want to do that. They're retiring. Be sure that you order the Sweet Strawberry stamp set and the Sweet Strawberry or the Strawberry Builder punch, and order them separately. Don't pick up the bundle because the punch is now $9. So the discounted price on the punch plus the full price of the stamp set is less money than the bundle price. So make sure you pick that up if you haven't yet. $9 for that punch. If you use it for flowers all day long to add things, you're going to get your money's worth out of it. But then the strawberry is just so cute. All right, let's see. What else do we have left to stamp here? We did our flower and our greeting. We've got our bunny. Let's get our swoopy square speckled. I'm going to bring my small grid paper in for that. And my speckle. I grabbed my favorite speckle from Quiet Meadow stamp set. And we're going to stamp this little spray of speckles across the top and the bottom of our label using Bumblebee. So we got So Saffron cardstock and Bumblebee ink. All right, I think that is all of our stamping. So let me clear away the ink pads, and we're gonna get a little more punching. All right, our in colors are retiring and things are selling out. Bumblebee and Just Jade are retiring in colors. So if you haven't stocked up, now's the time to do it. And I'm going to use the retiring Sprig punch. This guy's also retiring and on sale. We're going to pop 2 little leaves out of there. We're not going to use it like a full sprig. We're going to do 2 leaves so that we've got some foliage for our flower. And my Designer Series paper. My Designer Series paper is 1.5 by 3 3/4, and it is from this Abstract Beauty 4x6 specialty Designer Series paper. It's pretty paper, but can I just have a moment, a very kitchen table stamper honest moment? I think it's overpriced. So I had bought some, got some with my paper samplers. I do paper samplers every new catalog, so there will be one coming for the annual catalog. And in the paper sampler, get some of everything. And so that's how I got this one. It's really, really pretty. I'm glad to have a bit of it so that I can see the paper and make a decision on a full pack based on the sample. And $15 for this little pack is a little steep in my opinion. So if you are not always sure about the papers when you see a brand new catalog, keep an eye out for the Kitchen Table Stamper Sampler Celebration, where you can get a little bit of every paper, a class to get you started stamping with it, all included in a Zoom craft social, a card class. We have a really good time with it. And then from there, you can decide if each paper is worthy of purchasing a full pack. So just a little plug for the paper sampler, because it really does help me decide what papers I really love, not just think that I love because of the picture in the catalog. All right, so I'm going to put the swoopy square on the lid of the box with dimensionals, and then I'm going to glue my Easter blessings on flat. But don't worry, we're going to double dimensional this because it's a treat box, and that's my favorite trick. I love to double dimensional. So we're going to first do this guy down here, and I'm going to add my glue to my label because my label's a little longer, because my rectangle is a little longer than my label. Just center that on. Give that a second to dry. Let's bring our bunny back in here and our flower. This is where we're going to get our double dimensional on for this box. But first, a touch of color for bunny. We're going to do light petal pink and light polished pink and a color lifter. What I want to do is petal pink on the cheeks, give her big blushy cheeks, and then just touch that with the color lifter around the edges there so it fades from the white to the pink and the pink to the white. And then we'll take the light polished pink and fill in Bunny's ears. And now we got to trim Bunny out with some paper snip. It's not a difficult fussy cut, but it is still got to be fussy cut. No dies for friends of the forest. We're going to just open and close the scissor with our dominant hand, but steer the paper with our non-dominant hand, and just bubble cut around with a little tiny border of white. When you do that little tiny border of white, when you fussy cut, you get preservation of the artist's line. You don't want to cut on the line unless you're doing a technique like paper piecing. You want to give just a hair of white space. And what that does is it preserves the artist's line. The eye is drawn to the artist's line. So if your fussy cut is not perfect, if it's a little jagged or it's closer in some places and further away in others, that's less obvious to the eye because we left and preserved the artist's line. So just a little tip, if you don't have to cut on the line for a particular reason for the technique, give yourself just a little hair of space. It gives you some cover for those places fussy cut that aren't exactly perfect. All right, we've got our strawberry flower. Let's press into the Stampin' Pierce mat using the putty end with the cap. That gives us a little cup-shaped flower. And now it's time for our double dimensionals. We've got our little leaves. We want them to go opposite ways, and we can trim off the last leaf here. You know what I did? And I think I like that. I used this leaf on both sides because there's a little bit more leaf. Oh well, let's see how it looks this way. We're going to cut off these two leaves. If we just did the sprig instead of two little 3-leaf sprigs. Do we like that? I just realized that I did that. It's a little asymmetric. I want it the other way though. I want to do it like we did for the sample. All right, so you'll see this has got kind of a 2-leaf and this one's got a 3-leaf. I want 2 of those 3-leaf. I do like this sprig punch because we can get the big sprig. It's good to tuck in behind big flowers, but we can also get these tiny little sprigs. Now you're looking at that going, oh, but wait, they both go the same way. But when you punch it out of cardstock, you just flip it over to get that mirror image. So now we've got balance. Let's pop those on with a little liquid glue, just a touch. We don't want to make a mess. A little bit goes a really long way, and don't cover your greeting. I'm not pressing them down and burnishing them yet, just in case you hadn't noticed that, because we're going to add the flower and we want the flower to cover the 2 ends of the sprigs. I think that's going to be just fine. Here's our double dimensionals because you know I love it for treat boxes. We're going to pop up our flower. And we can adjust our sprigs just a little bit at this point because of the liquid glue. Whew, love it. And more double dimensionals. Let's get a little piece of dimensional on our bunny. I love the edges of these dimensionals. You guys know it already, I'm sure, but don't throw any piece of it away. Just because it's the edge and not a dot, cut it up and use the edge just like any other piece. I remember being very new to stamping And that was a big surprise for a lot of people. Oh, I can use that? Yes, you can use that. Use every little bit, cut it up and use as little as you need to. All right, so we've got our box, but what is a paper crafted project without some embellishments? So I've got these pastel pearls here, and we're gonna grab a pink one and some linen thread, which is my favorite little embellishment. Now there are some price increases coming to Stampin' Up! In the next catalog, and linen thread is one of those things. Cardstock is going to go up. Some of the adhesives are going up. So now is a great time to take a look at your stock and get some basic things before the price increase in the next catalog. Linen thread is one of those things where you can stock up a bit. I believe linen thread is one of the ones that's going up. I will try to post a list on the blog when I do my pre-order haul, so that you'll have some information. Maybe send it out in our newsletter too. I'm going to put it in the next newsletter, what's going to price increase. So you'll get your treat box tutorial, your exclusive treat box tutorial, and I'll include a little list of the products that are going to increase in the next catalog. I've got my mini glue dots. We're going to grab a take your pick tool, and I'm just going to roll this up a little bit with the take your pick tool. Now I've got a glue dot roll, put it on the knot, and then we can add that right underneath Bunny's feet. So cute. I love the natural texture and the curly tails of the linen thread, and a pearl, pink pearl for the center of our polished pink flower. So many fun textures going on with that bumblebee spatter, the pearl, the natural of the twine. All right, you guys, if you have any questions about the project, the newsletter, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.